From the moment human beings became aware of themselves, they sought their own reflection. Before the mirror existed as an object, the need to see oneself already did. The first mirror was neither glass nor metal, but still water, the surface of a lake, a puddle, a calm river. In that fragile and fleeting reflection, humanity first encountered its own image. That primal moment marked the beginning of a long, complex, and deeply symbolic relationship between humans and mirrors. The earliest manufactured mirrors date back more than 8,000 years. Archaeological discoveries in Anatolia, in present-day Turkey, reveal mirrors made of polished obsidian, a volcanic stone capable of producing a dark yet remarkably clear reflection. These were not everyday objects. They required skill, time, and resources, making them rare and valuable, likely associated with power, ritual, or social status. Later, in Mesopotamia and ancient Egypt, mirrors were crafted from copper, bronze, and eventually silver. These metal discs, often decorated with handles, reflected a warm, distorted image. Looking into them was not a casual act, it carried symbolic weight. In ancient Egypt, mirrors were closely linked to the sun and the concept of eternity. The Egyptian word for mirror can be translated as to see the light. Many mirrors were placed in tombs, reflecting not only faces but also the belief that light, and therefore life, continued beyond death. In ancient Greece, mirrors entered the realm of philosophy and myth. The story of Narcissus, who fell in love with his own reflection, was not merely a warning against vanity but a profound meditation on identity and illusion. The Greeks also practiced katoptromancy, a form of divination using mirrors, believing they could reveal the future or determine the fate of the sick. The Romans expanded mirror use further, improving metal polishing techniques and experimenting with glass, though reflections still depended on metallic backing. Even then, mirrors remained luxury items. For centuries, seeing one's own face clearly was a privilege rather than a given. This limitation shaped how people perceived themselves. Self-knowledge was partial, indirect, and often mediated by others. After the fall of the Roman Empire, technological progress slowed in Europe, but crucial knowledge survived elsewhere. In the medieval Islamic world, scholars preserved and advanced optical science. In the 11th century, Ibn al-Haytham laid the foundations of modern optics, explaining how light reflects and refracts. His work would later make the modern mirror possible. That breakthrough occurred in Venice, specifically on the island of Murano, between the 13th and 15th centuries. Venetian artisans perfected the production of glass mirrors using a tin-mercury amalgam, creating reflections that were bright, deep, and unsettlingly accurate. Venice guarded this secret fiercely. Glassmakers were forbidden to leave the city, and betrayal could mean death. A Venetian mirror could be worth as much as a ship or a small palace. For the first time, humans could see themselves with near-perfect fidelity. This technological leap triggered a psychological one. Mirrors transformed how people understood themselves. They influenced fashion, architecture, art, and the rise of individual identity. The explosion of self-portraiture during the Renaissance is inseparable from the availability of mirrors. Artists could now study their own faces, correct them, replicate them. The self became observable, analyzable, and reproducible. Yet as mirrors improved, superstition grew stronger. Across cultures, mirrors were seen as liminal objects, thresholds between worlds. Many believed they could trap souls or serve as gateways for spirits. This belief explains the custom of covering mirrors after a death, to prevent the soul from becoming trapped or returning. Breaking a mirror became a symbol of misfortune. The famous 7 years of bad luck originated in Roman beliefs that the body renewed itself in 7-year cycles. Curious and unsettling anecdotes followed. In 17th century Europe, people were warned not to stare too long into mirrors by candlelight, as reflections seemed to distort and take on a life of their own. In the 20th century, psychoanalyst Jack Lacan proposed the mirror stage, arguing that identity forms when a child recognizes itself in a reflection, creating a lifelong tension between who we are and who we believe ourselves to be. The mirror had become more than an object, it had become a central metaphor of the self. With the Industrial Revolution, mirrors became mass-produced and affordable. What was once rare became ubiquitous. Today, mirrors surround us, in homes, vehicles, cameras, satellites, and smartphones. We live in an age of constant reflection. Yet something fundamental has changed. The mirror is no longer purely physical. Modern screens do not simply reflect, they interpret, edit, and enhance. They return images that are filtered, corrected, and often idealized. The mirror no longer shows only what we are, but what we wish to appear to be. And here lies the final paradox. After thousands of years perfecting the art of reflection, we have entered an era in which the most powerful mirrors are not the most truthful, but the most persuasive. The mirror no longer merely reflects reality, it shapes identity, desire, and perception. The primitive pool of water offered a fragile but honest image. Today's flawless surfaces, in their perfection, may deceive more than they reveal. The mirror was created to show us who we are. Now, the true challenge is using it without forgetting who we are. Because in the end, the greatest power of the mirror lies not in the image it returns, but in the silent question it has asked humanity for millennia. Do you recognize yourself in what you see?